Guys, welcome back to Sapphire's Unscripted. We are finally having the episode that we have all been looking forward to. And I'm so excited. We have got so many content creators involved in this. We've got a few of our own teammates from our clubs. We've got people to add in their input into this whole thing. But today, guys, we have asked people to submit their top 10 forwards of all time. And we are basically going to, wherever they place in that person's list, they will get a certain point. I'll explain the rules now. But before I get into the rules, we're excited, guys. We're excited to see some of the ridiculous shouts that some people have put.
I'm more excited for the horror shouts, the absolute dreadful ones.
There's a few.
I got some of the people that sent me lists. I was like, I don't even want to send this list. This is embarrassing.
So yeah, but basically, guys, these two, obviously they sent me the list that they got from people, but they don't know the final results. Only I do, because obviously I've done all the admin for this, and I'm really excited for this. So let's get straight into the rules, okay? So basically, we've asked people to submit their top 10 forwards of all time. And for example, their first place will get 10 points, second place 9 points, etc. as the list goes down. So if they come 10th, they get 1 point. Okay. Now, obviously, everyone's points counts the same, so no person adds more points or anything like that. So that's that. And I think we have 12 lists submitted or 13, one of the two.
13,
so
yeah.
a maximum amount of points that can be submitted is 130 or 120, depending on how many lists we have. And yeah, literally, guys, it's not just South Africans either. We have New Zealanders involved. We have English involved. We have a Scotsman involved. We even have an Italian involved. So, guys, we have tried our best here not to make this a biased South African list. I really have tried to get people from around the world to give their input so that it doesn't seem like this is super biased. And then, yeah, guys, just a quick thing so that we don't get confused. If players end on the same points, okay, placement will get decided on who was ranked the highest on any given person's list. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, if both were let's say both people end on the same amounts of points and they were both listed on second on either person's list or whatever, then whoever was mentioned more will then get the higher placement. Okay. With all of that being said, are we ready to hear this? Are we ready? Okay. So
I'm looking forward to the absolute horror shows.
So, guys, out of the 12 lists, I think it is 12, 39 players were listed across all lists. 39. That is a lot. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, 39. So, coming up in 39th place with 1 point, he came in and I know who this is. He's sitting to the left of me. Skulk Brits came in at 39 with 1 point.
What? He got as many points as he got taps for the box.
I knew this was going to be the case, but I have a very, very valid reason why I put this man on the list. So for Saracens, he literally broke every single forward record that could be broken. I think he's extremely underrated. He had the most meters from a forward. He had the most steals from a forward. He had the most tries from a forward. He had the most line-out accuracy from hookers. He broke all the Prem records that could be broken, and that's why I threw him in there. I think that he's been one of my idols for a very long time. But when I put him on the list, as you saw, he was my number 10 on the list. Because I could only think of 9, and I thought he's going to be my little shot in the dark there. So I knew he was going to come last.
That's an absolute piss take, that one. And I love Skulky Brits. He walks around every day where I work. I see him almost every day. He's a fun guy. He's a funny guy. He's on TV for us. He looks just like a relatable guy. If I wanted to have a braai, Skulk Brits, he's there. Doesn't mean he gets into the top 10 list. He's got only caps on the box.
I saw the list and I actually wasn't mad at the shot. Like, obviously,
it's a fun shot. It's a fun shot.
I can see where the longevity, everything. I understand a little bit to where you're coming from. So I'm not that upset. Casual on the other hand thinks it's a piss take. But guys, please hang around till the end. Hang around till the end because the top 10 is very spicy. So please hang around. We will try and shoot through some that are, not that important. But Skulk Britzy, we always got to appreciate him. Coming in at 38, CJ Stunder with 1 point as well.
Horrible.
Yeah, look, CJ Stunder is a good player, but 38, that's where you can stay.
Treacherous.
Scott, 37, Scott Barrett with 2 points. Okay, that's not too bad. 36. Now, this one, I expected him to be a little bit higher in the sense that this is quite low. Only one person mentioned this guy. And as much as he wasn't a great player, he was a good player, but as much as he wasn't the best, I still expect him to be higher. John Smith. John Smith came in at 36 with 2 points as well. Only one person mentioned John Smith in the top 10.
What happened now?
Brett's disappeared.
He's back.
Brett's back.
So wait, going back to the John Smith one. So on my list, it was John Smith or Skulk Brits, and I wanted to say John Smith because of how many test caps he has as captain and how good of a captain he was. But then I thought of the records of Skulk Brits. Anyway, carry on.
This next one coming in at 35th, Adam Jones from Wales, the prop with 3 points. That came from our good friend Blissful. He's a Scotsman. These are all people from
Brits is way higher than Jones.
Oh,
seriously. That's even more of a mistake.
Yeah, that one I was like, dodgy. 34th, Tony Woodcock from the All Blacks, 3 points. Then 33.
That was Ella.
It was. 33. I think this came from John. Obviously you guys might know him from one of the episodes. With 4 points, Zinzan Brook from the All Blacks. He played number 8.
First take.
Decent.
Terrible call.
Special mention. Yeah. My dad actually said put him in, but I was like, no, I don't know this guy.
Zinzan Brook is a drop goal from 40 meters out from the corner.
What a legend.
Wow. Doesn't make him top 10.
32. We have Sir Michael Jones with 4 points as well. 31. We have Keith Wood with 4 points.
What?
Yeah, 31.
No, he's up way higher.
You were the only person that mentioned him.
How did he get 4 points again?
Because he finished 7th on Casual's list, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so obviously 7th gets you 4 points. So that's how he got his 4 points. There's some players here that got one nomination and they're in the top 20, which is crazy. Okay, so
that is horrible. Surely you guys agree that Keith Wood is better than what? 31st?
Yeah, but Keith Wood is not better than Skulk Brit, so move on.
30th, we have George Smith from the Wallabies with 5 points. He got mentioned once, and he came in 6th place on one of the person's lists.
George Smith would have been my number 11.
Yeah, so George Smith came in at 30th. Jerome Kanu comes in at 29th with 5 points. Not a bad shout. I don't mind that shout at all.
He's world class.
Then 28th with 7 points, Colin Meads. I can't remember who made that call. I have the list here, but I'm not going to scroll up and down. 27th. Someone had this guy in 4th place.
Also Ella. Colin Meads was Ella's, and he was placed 4th.
I need to know who's Colin Meads.
Yeah, me too.
He's obviously an All Blacks player because Ella is from there. So,
Brett, I agree. I saw it. I was like, who's this guy?
Wow.
Yes, and then 27th, guys, Lawrence Delaglio.
Lawrence Delaglio.
Yeah. That one, sorry for my 7 points. 26. This guy I actually expected to be a little bit higher in the sense that he captained the British and Irish Lions. He captained the Irish. Paul O'Connell with 7 points.
Yeah, but if you go back to Lawrence Delaglio, he won a World Cup.
Yeah.
Why is he slow down? And he was probably of his era the best 8 that there was. So
Yeah, he
that's
got mentioned once. He got mentioned once. So that's also, but like I said, there's 12 people involved here. So
okay.
like, don't look at the three of us. Blame the rest as well.
Okay.
Then one of our own, 25th place with 8 points, Bucky Sporter comes in at 25th. It's quite low.
Who the hell
28
mentioned
points.
him?
Sorry,
Right,
not 28. 8 point. He wasn't in my. It was not. The three of us did not mention him. That I can say. He got mentioned in I think 3 lists, and he was quite low on the list. That's why he was 8 points.
Whoever made the list was with Bucky's Botha in was like, we just like vibes. We just like people going out. If you put in Bucky's Botha, you could have just as well put in James Dalton. Just like moving.
Yeah. So yeah, 24. 24. We have Alan Wynne-Jones with 8 points.
Schalk Brits
and
is
he
better than Alan Jones.
Yeah.
No,
Look,
but,
Alan
Brett,
Wynne-Jones got.
you have to put respect on the longevity factor. So a lot of people would probably
But
put him
same
in
as
there.
Schalk Brits.
Yeah.
Longevity as well.
But I'm talking international longevity as well. Schalk Brits never really made it to the international scene. Like obviously he's got a couple of caps, and we all respect Schalk Brits. But you have to put respect on Alan Wynne for being the most capped international player ever.
I'm sorry, but
like
I'd rather play 5 test match for South Africa than I'd play 150 test for Wales. So
yeah,
no.
obviously, but I'm giving you the reasoning behind why people put him there.
Okay.
Yeah. This next one, guys, and this comes from my mine and Brett's good friend that we play with when we played together in the Predators together. This guy happens to really not enjoy salads, and he loves a good old chocolate cake. He comes in at 23 with 1 mention, with 8 points. Oxen Chair comes in at 23rd place because someone put him 3rd on the greatest forwards of all time. Like, I love Oxy, but what are you doing?
That is horrific.
Okay, wow.
He's not even currently the best forward
Sure.
Yeah. Next
in
one, Casual.
South Africa. What?
Casual, you have some explaining to do. Even though I'll have a soft spot for this decision because he is my ultimate player. But coming in at 22 is Malcolm Marx with 8 points, only mentioned by Casual, and he got listed 3rd on the greatest forwards of all time on Casual.
Yeah. Why didn't you mention him?
Why didn't I? I just think that he unfortunately got injured in this World Cup. He didn't play such a big role. Obviously had a few injuries before he's moved to Japan quite early in his career. Like, I love Malcolm Marx. This is my, like, I generally have this oak on one of my tattoos with the Bok tattoo I have on my calf.
By the way,
yeah,
I'll explain in a second. But Ella sent me her list, named 10 players, and said honorable mention, number 11, Malcolm Marx. So he would have gotten another point if we said top 11. But anyway,
Listen,
Malcolm Marx.
I can't take that seriously.
Brett, I'm explaining. You just sit there
hurry.
and listen. Okay, Malcolm Marx, when he retires, will be the best forward to have ever played the game. Okay,
wow.
by a country mile. I've never seen Malcolm Marx have a bad game in my life. If you talk about Malcolm Marx, consistently 9 out of 10 performances every single time he goes onto that field. If you think about the peak Lions, right? They were shit. And then all of a sudden in Super Rugby, they just came through the ranks. Malcolm Marx, a catalyst in that team. We had the worst springboks forever. Malcolm Marx replaces Andries Coetzee, part of that generation. And absolutely, we become world champions, 2-time world champions. There's a reason why people, as soon as Malcolm Marx got injured in this World Cup, people said, well, South Africa stands no chance now because that is the impact that he has on our team. He never misses a tackle, always gets over the gain line, a menace at the breakdown. If you think about the best jackler in our team, people would say Kwagga Smith, after Malcolm Marx. Who's the best carrier? Damien Dealanda, after Malcolm Marx. Who's the best tackler? Peter Steph du Toit, after Malcolm Marx.
Not after Malcolm Marx.
Malcolm Marx is the best.
Who did he replace?
Hey?
Who did he replace?
Definitely wasn't Andries Coetzee.
Andries
definitely
Kutsia plays
wasn't.
Not
fullback.
Andries Kutsia,
Strauss.
Strauss. Andries
Yeah, there you go.
Andries Strauss, whatever. Okay.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, listen, Malcolm Marx
You get
is
what I
like
mean.
my
You get what I mean. Okay. Wow.
Malcolm Marx is my
Just tells you how
hero.
forgettable that time period of our rugby was.
Yeah,
Look,
so I
Malcolm
just want
Marx.
to know how she says honorable member, honorable mention for Malcolm Marx, but then she names Alex Mead or Mead or
Colin
who?
Meads.
Colin Meads. Who's it? Okay.
Okay, but I told you guys this is gonna get interesting. Some people have put in some shouts you
Can I
will
just add
disagree with.
something? I need to add something. So, if I had to take it dead serious, obviously I wouldn't put Malcolm Marx as the third best ever, right? But I knew no one else would put him in there. It's my funky choice. But I really think he deserves a lot higher than, what was he, 22nd?
Yeah, and only one mention from you.
Yeah, I think it deserves to be a lot higher than 22nd, but I knew not a lot of people will put him inside, rocket him up to get him up higher. So I'll probably have placed him about 7th or 8th, but he deserves to be there.
Okay, but yeah, we need to move, guys. We need to keep moving. So next up, 21st, Dan Coles, hooker from the All Blacks.
No, move on.
Nine
Ridiculous.
points.
No.
But can I just say, he was mentioned in someone's list at number 2. That is why he got 9 points.
Yeah,
Mentioned once. Yeah. Next up, we have our Viking, our caveman from the French national team. We have Sebastian Chapal with 10 points. He came in at 20th. Do you not remember that Viking of a player?
We do. I do. Very well.
Did
But I don't think it was a good rugby player at all.
Yeah, overrated.
Look, yeah, well, he wasn't in my list, but he ended up in a lot of people's lists towards the bottom. So that's what got him to 20th. Okay, guys, we're moving into 19th to first. So now it starts to really like some names. This was Mr. Burns' number 1 player of all time. He got 1 mention and he came first on Brett's list.
Great.
Cole Heyman, a prop for the All Blacks, comes in at number 1 for Brett and gets him 10 points and number 19 on the greatest forwards of all time. Explain yourself.
I will. Cole Heyman revolution, like John Aloma revolutionized backline play and wings that have to be big. Cole Heyman revolutionized being a tight head prop and what a tight head prop's role is. It's the first time, so I've been playing in the backline my whole life, and I always used to watch Cole Heyman just scrum the shit out of people. And this oak, he was a quiet oak. He just did his job, but he was impossible to move. Oh, I love that oak. I think he's brilliant.
Okay, I'll respond first before Casual has a meltdown. The thing I've noticed with me and Brett have been friends for a while, for about 2 years now, or a year and a bit. And one thing with playing together here and there is, as a captain, when he picks a side for Predators and stuff, is he notices things that a lot of people don't, and I appreciate that in that sense. So this is why I'm not mad at the decision, because sometimes like Brett will realize things that some people don't, and like Cole Heyman was a good player. Obviously for me, he wasn't in my top 10, but I'm going to respect the decision because in a sense he did revolutionize that position. So like I said, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. Now, Casual, go on your round. Let's hear it.
Brett, he was so good, right, that I've never heard his name before. I have no idea.
You're Casual.
I have no idea who that is. If you talk about revolutionizing the prop game, you talk about Osturand and Tendai the Beast. When you talk about the best props, you only mention Safas. Okay, when we talk about the back line in the next one, we talk about the All Blacks. Okay, I will hear no prop higher than Osturand. That is blasphemous. You should be ashamed and hold your head down. You have no say in this anymore.
Listen to me. There's a massive difference between loose head prop and tight head prop. You just named 2 very good loose head props, and I think that a tight head prop is one of the most important positions on the field. And I know what I'm talking about. You are 12 years old, so you wouldn't know who's Carl
Well,
Heyman.
great.
So
You better have Frans Malherbe in this team because you said Frans Malherbe is the best tight end to ever play the game. So
Well,
you better
just you
have him
wait.
in your top 10.
Just you wait. Don't you worry. That's coming. Okay.
He does have him in.
Don't worry. I'll get there. I'll
It's
get
not
there.
higher than Carl Heyman.
Right. Okay. Let's number 18 with 11 points. Sam Whitelock comes in at 18th with 11 points. I'm not
That's
mad.
fair.
Sam Whitelock, he's
Fair
fair.
enough, yeah.
17, Sergio Parise from Italy, 12 points.
what?
Yeah.
No. I'm not having any of that. Oak's not even a good rugby player. How is he even on this list?
Okay, yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'll take a blame for giving. I gave him 1 point. He came 10th in my list.
I'm sorry.
How does he end up on your list?
An Italian on this list. Are you mad?
He is Italy's greatest ever player. Like,
Yes, and Italy has always been the shittest team in the
no,
world.
no. You got to give that Oak his flowers.
I won't.
Do you have the best player of Namibia in this team? Or in the top 10? No, exactly.
It's not the same thing, but anyway.
It's exactly the same.
Look, there are some people that had him as high as I think 6th or 7th.
Smoking their socks.
So yeah. Next up, 16th, 16th guys with 14 points. Michael Hooper.
How many points?
16 points. Sorry, 14 points. He came 16th with 14 points, and I believe I had him in my list. I know Brett, you also had him. Yeah, I had him at 8th.
Not a bad shot at all.
Yeah,
I just
so
didn't have anybody.
20 years old and he captained Australia at 20 years old.
he needs
I don't
that
rate it
guy
at
needs his flowers, 100%.
I think he needs to be up higher.
No, I agree.
Next up in 15, we're getting into the top 15, guys. It's getting spicy, right? Now, this is where you two can have another little rant. Coming in at 15th with 16 points, Frans Malherbe.
I respect it. I respect it.
15th.
Because I was debating putting him in, but then I was like, he's going to end up too high because I know Brett's going to put him in. I just had the feeling Brett's going to put him in. I like
So
it.
Brett had him
He's the
at
best player
second.
to ever play the game. I agree.
Yeah, so Brett had him at second. And then someone else also had him very high as well, which gave him 16 points. So he got his flower.
Who had him very high along with
I'll
Brett?
tell you in 2 seconds. Give me 1 second.
Brett, where did you place him?
Second. And
You got the two tight end props at first and second.
Wow.
look, I'm not going to waste my time searching.
Wondering your first two positions.
Yeah, there was someone else that had him quite high. I think with 7 points, which means they put him 4th on their list. So that's why.
To be fair, we all know Brett that isn't really going to believe Frans Malherbe is the second best forward to ever play the game, but he probably did the same as what I did with Malcolm Marx to get him up higher.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Brett,
Well,
please, let's not be ridiculous here. Be honest. Be an honest man. You're a man
Move
of.
on.
Okay. 14th with the same amount of points as Frans Malherbe. However, he got mentioned more. Oosterhuis in 14th place with 16 points.
No way is he that low. No way.
And
It's
only-
valid. Sorry,
No.
I say it's valid because yes, he's got 2 World Cups spanning 12 years apart, but also he did take 6 or 7 years off of rugby. So I think it's valid.
Doesn't that make it even better?
No.
So the reason he's even so high is because, so guys, we happen to know a good old friend named Niku Etzebeth, who is actually Eben Etzebeth's cousin, right? And he submitted not even his own cousin as the greatest of all time. He submitted Oosterhuis as the greatest forward of all time. So that's a 10 points right there for Oosterhuis just from one person. And he ended up on 16.
Well.
So, well, there you go. That's how he got his points. 2 players, 2 people.
From me as
there
well.
you go. Yeah. So there's the reasoning for that. In 13th, this is where the points get into the 20s. So in 13th place, we have Brody Retallick with 20 points. I'm
Yeah.
happy with that. I think
Fair
he's
shout.
done he should get his flowers for that. The next one, 12th, who I thought we would see in the top 10 because a lot of people rated him. Martin Johnson, 24 points in 12th place. I had him in mind.
Just to go back, right? I think Sam Whitelock and Brody Retallick should be closer together because I almost feel they're a duo, and you don't want to waste 2 spots in your top 10 going with those two. But I felt like if you put the one at 12th, you have to put the other one at 13th or 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
well, they aren't
respect
too
it.
far apart. I mean, 18th to 13th isn't too far apart. But yeah, 12th
No,
place,
fair enough.
Martin Johnson, 24 points. It's respectable. 11 with 25 points. He just missed out on the top 10 by 1 point.
Richie
Jerry
McCaw.
Collins.
Oh,
Jerry Collins came 11th.
Has to be
Now,
higher.
listen, Jerry Collins was a fantastic player. I'll give him that. He wasn't in my top 10, but that guy, if he was in the top 10, I wouldn't be mad. Like, I wouldn't be mad.
I'm confused though. How was a Jerry Collins higher than a Brody Retallick or a Sam Whitelock or even a Scott Barrett for that matter? Jerry Collins was good, but he wasn't that good. He was the
Well,
bruiser.
If we were to pick an all-time top 10 Stormers forwards of all time, I'm putting Achiva Daimani at 1. And he would play the Achiva Daimani role for the All Blacks. It's vibes. He just did everything. It was like, oh, yes, Jerry Collins again, just killing people out there. Jerry Collins was just like, I wanted 10 Jerry Collinses. That's what Ella told me. Can I put Jerry Collins 10 times in? I think she put him in first.
She had him at 1. She had him at 1.
Can I tell you my favorite Jerry Collins moment quickly for 5 seconds? They played a test match against Australia and he needed to have a wee. So he went onto his knees, pulled his thing out, and he had a wee right on the field.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's classic.
5. I'm bringing him up higher. Change the points. I'm putting him up higher after that story.
All right. Guys, we have got into our top 10. And it's time for the top 10. So if you stuck around, I hope you did. This time for the top 10. Let's get, this is exciting.
Like and
at
subscribe.
number 10, yeah, please, guys, like and subscribe. We really love making this content. We're going to bring more type of content like this. But number 10, guys, David Pocock with 26 points. I think it's completely fair. I had him at number 9, and he came 10th in the all-time list. So I'm happy with that.
Why did I feel like he didn't play for that long? Did he have a long career?
He didn't, but he had a long career, but because he was injured for a lot of his career.
Yeah, fair enough.
Look, Pocock was just he was really good when he wanted to be. Like, he was really, really good. And
because
yeah,
the combination was Michael Hooper, Pocock, and George Smith, right?
Yeah, George Smith towards the end of his career. But
that was deadly. That was deadly. And I just feel Michael Hooper should have been higher than Pocock just because he still plays and he's the captain as well. But Pocock is still respectable, but I don't think top 10, not in my opinion.
No.
Next up, in 9th place with 27 points. But I just want to also, we'll get to that, but obviously in 9th place, we have our Safa, who we adopted from Zimbabwe. Tendai Beaston Taurira comes in at 9th place with 27 points. He wasn't in my list, but a lot of people appreciate him by the looks of it. A lot. He was very high on some people's list that weren't even South African.
Sorry?
How much do you think about it? Is it just because it's the beast? It's vibes. I think Oosturand was better.
I also think so. So I got the most slack. So the same way I felt about Richie McCaw is the same way I felt about Beast and Taurira. I didn't think he was good at all. I didn't think he added any value to the team. I think he was like he worked off his name, because I remember the last 4 or 5 years of his career. Like, whenever he used to run before that, you'd hear the crowd go, Beast. Now it would be like, that's it.
Yeah. So
he was good at scrum. Let's give him his flowers at scrum.
But that's the thing. I think he was a world-class scrummager. I'll give him that. But like Brett was saying, there were times where I would sit with my friends and watch the Springboks play, and he'd get the ball and he wouldn't even make a meter, or like he would just take contact, but he would get dominated in that ball carry contact. And that's when I was like, is this guy overrated in a sense? Like, obviously we love the beast, but is he overrated in a sense? And so that's where I agree, is he didn't make the impact that, well, obviously in the beginning he did, but towards the end, like, he just wasn't the beast. Like, he was just beast.
Feels like we're putting him in that same conversation as Freddie Stewart. What made him good? Scrum.
Well, that was his job. His job was to scrum. So
yeah, but for me there were a whole lot of other loose head props that were, for me, Thomas the Toy coming through the ranks should have take away 20 tests from the beast and put Thomas the Toy in. That's what I would have done.
Okay, let's move.
Well, 8th place, 27 points. The only reason he's above beast is because he came in someone's number 1 of all time. And that was yours, Casual. Ardie Savea in 8th place as the greatest, eighth best forward of all time. And he was your number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, and I stand by it. So I get so much slack for people for saying he's so much better than Richie McCaw. I don't even think it's a comparison. When you talk about the worst looking All Blacks, literally, what was it, 2 seasons ago? He still didn't even have a bad game. He never disappears off the field. He does absolutely everything. Like, the All Blacks can be down and out, but him alone just does so much damage, keeps the All Blacks in the game. Obviously, captain as well. I don't think he's won a World Cup with them, but as an individual player, I can't think of many players that can come close to the quality that he brings on the field in every sense of the word. Like, I talked about Malcolm Marx. Malcolm Marx, in my opinion, comes close to Ardie Savea at certain stuff, but Ardie is just good at everything. One of those guys. Brilliant athlete.
Tell us you're a fan without telling us you're a fan.
Look, I think looking back at my decision, I think I probably should have taken out Parisse and put in Ardie Savea. I'll give you that. I probably should have.
Terrific.
But moving on. Okay, so guys, the next from 7.
I don't like how you guys didn't agree with my statement. He should have been at least in your top 5.
No, he wasn't even on my list.
No, it's ridiculous, Brevan.
I think you forgot about it.
Look, I'm thinking back.
Where was he on Brett's list? Where was Ardie Savea on Brett's list?
9th. Yeah. But still, why are you slandering him when I didn't even put him in my list? Like,
yes, so keep quiet.
Because I'm just gonna think you forgot. Okay, I'm just gonna think you didn't take enough care of your list. Because Brett, I just think it's negligence. It is horrific rugby knowledge.
No, he hasn't played enough for me to be on that list.
Well, listen, I'm a Malcolm Marx fanboy, and Malcolm Marx at 3rd on your list is not justifiable. Not yet.
Okay, move on.
Anyway, so guys, from 7th to 3rd, there's a gap of 7 points, and from 6th till 3rd, there's a gap of 4. It's that close between these 5 players. So Pieter-Steph du Toit comes in at 7th place with 30 points. I'm so glad he made this list because he came in at number 2 on my list. What a goat. Pieter-Steph du Toit, our defense minister, well deserved. 7th place.
Good shout.
Fair enough. He plays the number 7 jersey as well, so just fits.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, next up, 6th place with 33 points. Skulk Burger.
Also played in that 6 jersey. Yeah, I agree.
I'm happy with
it. Brilliant. You have to.
Next up, Brett, you are going to hate this one with your whole heart because I know what you think. You didn't think he was terrible, but you don't think he was that great as people rate him, and it's shown here. In 5th place with 35 points, Victor Matfield.
Oh, no.
He came in very high on a lot of people's lists.
Let me tell you who these people are. So Blissful obviously put him high up in his list because he was on his show. he interviewed him. If he never interviewed him, he wouldn't even have thought about him. Victor Matfield was not good enough. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So here the Matfield suggest. I put Matfield in. I'll admit. I put him in quite low on. I put him low on my list though. Where is it now? Victor Matfield on my UK friends list came in at third. Blissful, I think he came second.
Yeah.
And there are a few. There's
Ella,
a few people that put him high.
Ella, he came fifth on Ella's. He came fifth on Call Me Marcello from Italy. Yeah, that's it that I have here. But how is he better than Sam Whitelock and Brodie Retallick?
No, but how was Victor Matfield on your list, but Ardie Sevilla is not, and Parisse and Matfield
Like I said, Ardie Sevilla should be on my list. I'll conclude to that. But I do think Victor Matfield has a shot. I really do. Because not as the greatest, he was low on my list, but I think he deserves a shot in the top 10 in the sense that he was just in what he was supposed to do. He did really well. And
okay, so people lifted him very high, and he caught the ball. Good job.
He had the chip and chase once.
Every now and then, a blind chicken finds a millie.
Yeah, I'm putting in Ricky January in the all-time backline one because he also did the chip and chase.
Don't get ahead of yourself. We're not there yet. Okay, just carry on.
Okay, so fourth place with 36 points, Kieran Reid.
Okay, whatever.
Like, I don't think he's fourth, but I think I had him 10th. I had him 10th on my list. I'm not. No, sorry, that was Parisse. I had him actually quite high. I think I had him. I had him 6th.
Kieran Reid felt like one of those guys, like you have 5 names left, but 2 spots, and it's like on the fringe, and I just didn't put him in. But I think he was absolutely brilliant. I'm not putting in 2 8th men of New Zealand, Kieran Reid and Ardie Sevilla. It's just stupid.
Okay, where are we now? Was that 4?
That was 4. Now we're going into our top 3.
Okay.
There's only 3 names. Only 3 names.
I know 2 of them.
I know one of them because I'm always wrong on this oak, apparently.
Okay, well, third place, Thierry Duchatois with 37 points. Well deserved. I had him at third. I had him at third on my. Oh no, I had him at fourth on my list. So fair play. I'm happy with that.
I had him at
top
8.
2. Okay.
Also,
top 2.
You know these 2.
This really annoys me because it shouldn't be the guy who's first. And he won it by first place got 85 points, second place got 70 points. I mean, these 2 walked it. There's a massive jump from third to second and first, but even the 15-point gap between second and first. Coming in at second place is Eben Etzebeth with 70 points, and in first place, Richie McCaw with 85 points.
I just want to know, how is Dwayne Vermeulen not on that list?
When I read the list, I didn't understand it.
And how is Kieran Reid is not better than Dwayne Vermeulen? I'm sorry.
But you didn't have Dwayne Vermeulen.
None of us did, but I'm sure someone would have put him in. And I actually, you see, there's so many players.
And you wasted a spot on Skulk Brits.
No, I didn't.
And you on Parisse. And that's why Dwayne didn't come.
Listen, you didn't select him either.
I know, but I all mine was valid.
You selected Richie McCaw because you're a cop-out.
I didn't put him up high.
You still put him in because society said you must vote for him.
No, I bantered you the other day.
That was never good, man. You never even saw him play anyway.
I did.
Look,
I saw him fall out in the semi-final of the World Cup in 2007 when I was 7 years old.
Then how the hell is he on your list?
Because I watched compilations.
Look, at the end of the day,
there's a compilation of me as well. I look like a bloody superstar.
At the end of the day, guys, I just think Ibn Etzebeth, by the end of his career, will have everyone's mind set that he will be the greatest forward of all time. And I even
Yes,
think
Malcolm
Peter.
Richie McCaw
Sorry?
will fall out of the top 38.
Yeah, I agree with Ibn Etzebeth after he retires. Like, he'll be proudly taking that number 2 spot after Malcolm Marx, because I'm standing by it. But yeah, Ibn Etzebeth deserved first spot. Okay, no second after Adi Savia. But I mean, he's just our nation. If you think about rugby South Africa for the past couple of years, you think Siya Kolisi, Ibn Etzebeth.
Yeah, well, guys, that's the list. And while there were some shocking calls, there were some great calls. But guys, this isn't the end of this content. We are going to be doing a backline as well. We'll get in the same people involved, possibly even more, so we can get more opinions. Please interact with this video. Let us know if you disagree with some of our. See, these guys are laughing at me because I used the silly word again. Silly me. But yeah, guys, interact with us. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe. We really love you guys. And yeah, thank you. Sayonara. We appreciate you. And Seth
Bye-bye.
Unscripted will be back.